Hello, my name is Robin Anderson. I'm the president of Emerging Ag, and it's my pleasure to be here with Isabel Koch.
Hi, I'm Isabel. I'm the Chief Policy Officer for Emerging. I lead a portfolio of work focused on public health and biodiversity.
So good to be here in Southeast Asia with you, Isabel. One of the things, in addition to enjoying the amazing food and the wonderful culture here, we also are conscious, though, that there are changes happening, and we're seeing more dengue, more malaria, more change in the diseases that the world is facing, and then popping up in new places where once we traveled with less worry about some of those things. You were working in this space all the time. Tell me a little bit about what you think the pressure points are on public health right now.
Well, I think there are multiple, obviously. Climate change is probably top of mind for most of us. I think you've mentioned it. We are seeing climate change pressures increasing, and that's changing both the spread of vector-borne diseases. So dengue has become really prevalent in West Africa, where it wasn't as much of a concern before. Throughout Latin America, we heard much about it, but also in Asia, where it's making a comeback in some areas or even expanding. But beyond the spread of the vector themselves and the diseases that go with them, one of the big pressure points I think we are seeing from climate change is the ability to respond to those diseases and to these outbreaks. So we are seeing health systems that are getting higher pressure, so it's harder to respond to outbreaks. And so that's kind of compounding the existing effects of more diseases in more places. I think that's one of the major ones. If you wanted to think beyond climate change, so funding pressures. It's very hard to keep up campaigns for decades. People want to see funding happen, success happen, and something to be closed. We want chapters to close. The challenge with vector-borne diseases in this changing climate is that we are really struggling to get to the end. We've seen it with dengue, which is actually seeing a dramatic increase in many regions. We're seeing with malaria, where the investment we've seen since 2005 have led to huge progress, and yet numbers are starting to rise again. Numbers of cases, sometimes numbers of deaths. And getting to the end is really hard, and it's really hard to get funders motivated when you have a hard time getting to the end. So we're going to see these pressures increase, and we're going to have to think a bit out of the side of the box to think about how we get to eradication.
Absolutely. We've seen it with polio, right? Mm-hmm. We're so close, and now just that little bit of not finishing, we've got the pressure popping back, and we see it, as you said, in malaria.
Absolutely.
It's so important to focus on the finish line.
And it has been, I think, for a lot of our clients, for people we work with, it's this end goal, and we've come to elimination. We've seen great success stories. We've seen countries like Sri Lanka, like others, that have been able to eliminate. So it is possible, but it's also a collective effort, because if you eliminate one place but you don't eliminate elsewhere, you always have the possibility of things coming back. And this drive to eradication really takes a global collective effort. The question is, do we globally have the will to pool resources together and make it happen? It's going to be interesting to see the dynamics of that, as some countries that had been previously immune or have been immune for some time, those diseases suddenly experience this again. We see it in Europe. We've seen endemic cases of dengue happen. I think it's creating more public awareness of the impact of vector-borne diseases, and that really is important in terms of shifting mindsets around the importance of those diseases.
Absolutely. Investing in public health, it's the next step. We need to keep doing it. It's never been more important.